So, hello to our audience of Mel's on Radio Show. We have the huge pleasure to be with three members from a band coming from Germany. We are at the Omega Sound Festival. This is the third edition, the first day, and the band just come and play. So, hello, this is ORDEN OGAN from Germany. How are you, and can you introduce to our audience first?
Festival is really great here. So I'm Patrick, guitar player in ORDEN OGAN, and yeah, festival is great, really good organized, and great team. Crowd was awesome. We finished our show 20 minutes ago, so and yeah, it's great to be here.
Hi, I'm Niels, the other guitar player of ORDEN OGAN, and basically Patrick said it already. Had a great show today. I'm fine, but it's really, really hot here, I have to say.
Hey, this is Steven, the bass player of ORDEN OGAN, and yeah, I only can join my friends here. We had a great time at the festival, although we had like some 18-hour killer travel yesterday. But hey, it was so worth it. Super sweet people, great audience, great festival.
Thank you to be there for our pleasure and for the pleasure of all the people there. So first of all, for people who don't know the band, can you do a brief history of the genesis of the band until now? A brief history.
You have to ask him.
Well, okay, a brief history. So, ORDEN OGAN, it's been, let's say the ancestors of ORDEN OGAN have been around from the late 90s on, but our singer Seb counts the band's history from the first album basically, which was in 2008, the Veil album. And since then we are having like 6 or 7 albums? Six albums, yeah. 6 albums, and we play, well, most people call it power metal, but it's a very melodic style of metal, but with some modern elements, modern guitar riffs and so on. And and we've been doing well. And I don't know what to say if you want a brief history, because there's so much I could say, but maybe that's enough or not?
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool for us. You will release the 21st of October in a few days. Final Days, ORDEN OGAN and Friends. This is not a new album, of course. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, that's the whole Final Days album with guest singers on it. Some singers like Andy B. Frank of the band Brainstorm, PV from the band Rage, to name a few. And and we bring out a new song. It's called December, and it's on a record as well. So
yeah, actually we wrote that song called December for the original release of Final Days already, but it's about like a virus that's spreading, so we decided maybe we don't put it on there at that time, but now we thought, yeah, well, I think we can do it. So yeah, do you have anything to add?
Actually, a lot of people were asking why you're basically re-releasing the record, and because it was released in the middle of the pandemic, so it didn't get the attention it should have gotten, as we think, because it's a super strong record and we're still super proud of it. And as December was a leftover anyway, that it is my favorite song from these recording sessions, so we thought, okay, we have to release this thing, and then we brainstormed what could we do, and then we just scrolled through our phone books and said, okay, we know enough singers, so let's give them a call. And everyone was in like within a second. Hey, you want to sing a song from the Final Days record for this special release? Yeah, I mean, I do it. And this was really a super cool, super spontaneous thing that happened, and also I think it turned out really good.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Is it your idea, the band's idea, or label? Where can you explain? How did you decide to do that?
Yeah, I guess. Actually, I don't know who came up with that idea originally. I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
I think the initial idea was to re-release, to just re-release the record. with some live tracks and stuff. And as every Orden Ogan record was released with a live DVD, and also the original release of Orden Ogan had a live DVD from this saloon show we did back in like 2019. It was my first show with Orden Ogan back then, and yeah. And we thought, okay, we cannot release another live record because people get bored. Let's do something special, something different. And this is how this idea came up.
So wait a little bit. It comes 21st of October, final days, Orden Ogan and friends. So we talk about now the latest album, the final days, that was released 17 months now. What is your view on this album after having defended it on stage and the feedback you've got now?
Yeah, so we play 4 songs from that album in our live set. So that's The Heart of the Android, and The Dawn of the AI, Inferno, and Let the Fire Rain. And that fits really good in our live set, and the reaction of the crowd is really great. So yeah.
Of course, I agree with Patrick, but of course the one thing that was missing for the album was a whole tour. Actually, we planned to do a tour when the album came out, but for obvious reasons we couldn't do it. So yeah, that's a little bit of a pity, but when we play the songs live, there's a great feedback, yeah.
So, yes, as I said, Final Days was released 17 months now. Can we expect a new album in a nearby future? Did you start writing new songs?
Yeah, we start writing new material, not songs in the final way, so but ideas, and we collect some, and yeah, there will be a new album as soon as possible.
Next year?
Yeah, we will see.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so we're gonna wait a little bit, but a new album is on its way. So you've been musician for a long time now, and 26 years with the band, because the band was founded in 96. Yeah, 96.
Yeah, as I said before, that's what people think, and that's like the very first version of the band, but it was not really a band. I was not around at the time, but it was just basically Zeb and a few friends hanging out. So let's say the band started in 2008, really.
Yeah, okay, sorry. So what was the first piece of music that moved you?
That moved me.
Yeah.
So I would say that's a record from the Blues Brothers, and yeah, so the Blues Brothers took me into music. So
I cannot really say which song it was, but I'm pretty sure it was the Beatles, because my father used to listen to them, and that's basically the first band I really remember. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it was also like the music I basically grew up with. It was stuff like Springsteen. I absolutely still love Springsteen, and I have a 7-year older brother, and he was in his teenage days when I was a little kid, but he brought home all the 80s rock and metal stuff. He started listening to Scorpions, to Accept, to Dio, Motley Crue, and this was my entrance into the rock and roll and heavy metal world back when I was a little kid, like 5 or 6 years old. I already wore the black shirts with the skulls on and stuff. Yeah, this is it.
Now, looking back at your childhood, in which musical environment were you raised and educated? The question. What?
don't know.
Well, for me it's easy. My father used to be a musician back in the day as well. So there was always music around the house, and I learned to play the piano relatively early and such things. So that's the basic environment. Yeah.
Actually, I'm the only person in our whole family who plays the instrument, and it was back in 1991. I saw Skid Row, and at the opening scene, the bass player just walked in, and the lights went on. And said, "All right, dude, this is what I wanted to do. This is how it all came together."
So excuse me, I don't understand the question. It's so loud here. What inspired me into doing music was, of course, Bruce Brothers, and family-wise was not a musician, but NTV, you know, saw concerts, and and that's it.
So we crossed 2 years with the COVID period, unfortunately. How did you cross this period as a musician and as a human being?
Well, as a musician, there was not much to do, of course. We were craving and waiting to be able to play shows again. And as a human being, well, I was in the lucky situation that I still had my normal day-to-day job. So I wasn't suffering from that money-wise or anything, but it was a very lonely time in the end, I have to say. But there was always like a thinking, yeah, maybe next year it's getting better, and yeah, well, it's getting better now a little bit, but now there are other problems. Yeah. How was it for you?
I guess for us all, it was pretty much the same. You know, the band you saw tonight was formed more or less at the beginning of the, or just months before the pandemic hit, and we just
came in. Yeah, Patrick and Steve just came in right before the pandemic. Yeah.
And we just recorded or were in the end phase of the recording of the record when the pandemic hit. We shot the Let the Fire Rain video in the night before the first lockdown in Germany. And so it was a super weird time for us as a band, and we basically saw us in that time only from screen. We didn't rehearse, like when we played the first show at the Alcatraz Festival in 2020. Was Alcatraz was in summer 2020 or 21? So Alcatraz wasn't.
I don't remember. It's a blur. The whole 2 years, it's a blur.
Yeah, and when we played the Alcatraz Festival, this was actually the first show after being in the band together for like almost a year or something, and having a new record out, and we didn't even rehearse. You know, this was so weird that we made it. We're still here.
Okay. So we are the Omega Sound Festival in France, of course. What are your plans after this festival? Writing new music?
Of course, as a musician, you always write new music. And tomorrow we are in Paris. Yeah, I play there a headliner show at the Moulin Rouge in the La Machine Club. Yeah. And we are really looking forward to that. So yeah. Other plans?
Yeah, I think there are 2 more shows after that in Germany. I think Knockout Festival and a show in Andernach. But I think that's it for the year then, for with live shows. Yeah.
Okay, so follow on the social networks, Facebook, etc., etc. So, okay, to conclude this interview, what did you have something to add, and some words for your French fans, because we are in France, of course.
Of course, thanks for having us here on this festival, and great to be back here in France, and that's what I say.
Yeah, like you said, and be nice to each other, drink beer or wine or whatever, and celebrate metal.
Thanks for sticking around during this really weird time, as we said. We'll be back as soon as possible with more music, maybe even with some new music. See you there.
Okay, thank you guys. This was 3 members from German band ORDEN OGAN. We wish you a lot of good things for the band, for you, for your family, and follow the social networks, Facebook, etc. the band. Okay, thank you very much. Have fun. Take care of you. Bye-bye.